Welcome back to Lost Legacies, a Hidden City Book Company production. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Dad.
That's right, everybody. Dad's joining us on this episode.
Afternoon, everyone.
It's not even an Ask Dad episode. This is crazy. Never
It's not?
before in the
Oh.
history of Lost Legacies has this happened. Milestone.
Sounds good to me.
We had to catch Dad up on Andor real quick. Oh yeah. Dad, binge these 6 episodes now.
Gosh. Okay, it was filling up the memory banks really quick. You're asking a lot.
Is that happening? You only have so much RAM, going
Oh
on?
yeah, something goes in, something's got to come out.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So I'm forgetting all kinds of stuff from way back when.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to our latest episode. We're happy to be here. Happy to have you. I guess before we get started, how was everybody's weekend?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
I just got to relax a little bit. What about you? What about y'all? Y'all got to the Memorial Day off.
Oh, yeah. That was nice.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
for you.
It was
Wow.
it was long. It's been a long time coming.
Wow. Well, good for you. I think I got you beat.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. 41st wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yepper.
What kind of what's your secret? Pop? What's the secret to
What?
success?
Oh man. Just stay in the batting box and just swing for the wall.
Okay, interesting metaphor for keeping a marriage alive, but okay.
No, well. Hey, look, she's always right. That's it. Just
True.
live with it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
So I Googled it, Sam, and traditionally speaking, there's no special gift for the 41st year
Correct.
because they start at some point they start doing it like every 5. So
I think it's once you get to 25, that's when it goes into every 5.
yeah. However, the modern day list 41 is land.
Land?
Yeah.
Wow.
We need to buy the parents some land somewhere.
Wait a second. Hang on here. Why do we have to buy the
Oh,
parents' land?
that's a good point. They should be buying each other lamb.
Not lamb.
I'm sorry, land. I was thinking of lamb.
Okay, lamb is much more affordable than land, okay?
Yeah. So land.
Interesting.
What would you do with some land?
Cattle.
Oh,
Cattle?
Cattle.
wow.
Yeah, you get a not a full tax exempt, but you get a partial exempt if you have some cattle on your property.
Would you use them for beef or
Sure.
decoration? Like
You could, but I mean,
Hmm.
you got them there. You might as well, they're gonna have. If you got a bull, you're gonna have little cows. You're gonna have little cows, calves.
Yeah. Population control.
Yeah, sell them.
Side hustle.
You'll never get rich.
Wow. Okay.
Really?
Well, it's pretty tough.
Oh.
It's pretty tough. I mean, with the price of feed and then veterinarian costs, things like that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's
and
true.
if you don't have a lot of land, they're going to chew up everything.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
So, how many head can you keep on an acre and things like that?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole science to it.
I don't know. If I had land, what would I do with it? I guess it depends where it's at. I plant trees.
yeah.
I just fill it with trees. I don't know. There's no
That's
way
what
to
I was
make
gonna-
money off of that unless you're like an apple orchard or something.
So I was gonna say, I'm just gonna make a park. Here we
Well, yeah.
go.
See,
Here's a
again,
big
it depends
park.
where it's at, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was gonna say I'm really, just learning about like sustainability and all that stuff, and how I've always been a fan of architecture. Unfortunately, I don't like math, so I never pursued that as a career. But yeah, I don't know. Now I'm studying about like sustainability and green energy and all that stuff, and how it's just kind of mind-boggling how that isn't incorporated more into architecture.
Mhm.
Because the stuff that is being done is really cool, but it's pricey.
Yeah.
So, but I would do something like that. Whatever I build, especially like if I had land in the city, I would definitely be building green space
Hmm.
up, up top, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like a rooftop park. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, yeah, that
So
would be fun.
I love like in New York they have the what's it called? Like the walking space in the park they added on top of the old like train rails.
Hmm.
What was that called?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember, but I mean, I just think that's so rad. So now you can ride your bikes, you can walk uh, off the street, which New York is known for,
Yeah,
So, and like they basically added a park above ground. I'm like, that's really cool.
that is cool.
Something like that.
Yeah, do that. Just make
Depends
sure
where
you
you.
have a lot of parking.
Yeah, and maybe a nice river going through it. That's always good.
The High Line, that's what it's called. I completely forgot
Oh,
because
Oh,
it's like,
yeah, clever.
the train line. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, clever. I'd put a little food truck in there too, you know. Or maybe three. We'll give the people options.
Well, the thing like that is like it's long. Like I don't know how long it goes, but it's a long stretch.
Yeah,
So you could put food trucks at different spots, close to a
true.
subway,
Yeah,
Wherever
yeah.
the subway's let out, you'll put some food trucks up there. I'm like, man, that's awesome. Dang.
how how you going to get them up there?
Cranes.
Maybe it wouldn't be a food truck then, but you could do like little food things,
Mm,
pop-ups.
There you
yeah,
go.
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
build little pop-up spaces that people can like come in and use or rent out or whatever.
Mm,
Hmm.
ramps. Just
Oh,
get
and
a
then at
bunch of
night
ramps.
you could do like a kind of farmers market type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or just market in general, because farmers market's usually like in the mornings, but at night you
Hmm.
could do something more kind of like well, we have First Fridays here,
Yeah,
something like that, or
yeah,
like a SoFlo, yeah. So
yeah. Get a bunch of string lights.
miles
Have
of string lights,
Yeah,
yeah.
miles of string
I like
lights.
it.
Have a big old music venue. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I don't hate this idea. All right,
See?
Dad, you work on that.
Yeah.
what?
Matt and I will round out the details on the things we
Mm-hmm.
want in the space.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
man. All right. So you just need me for the groundwork.
yeah. Well, it's like you said, land. That's the
Mm-hmm.
gift.
That's it. That's it.
41 years.
Just
Yeah,
gotta find
Yeah.
it. Gotta
yeah.
find it.
Yeah. Hmm. Awesome.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of trains, I guess. Although I guess it's not technically a train, but it's kind of like a big box car. Uh, today we're talking about Andor, season 1, episode 6, The Eye, in which under the cover of a local festival, the Aldani mission reaches a point of no return. So, gentlemen, what do we think about this episode?
Did I see that?
Yes.
What- That was the last one, right? Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
No, I did. I did. It was cool. I liked the way the story went, and you know,
Mhm.
are we doing spoilers on this thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've already watched
Oh,
this first 6, so
oh, okay. All right. So, the characters that, get bumped off during the fight and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It fit well. It wasn't one of those, hey, why'd they bump off that guy,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I really liked it. I did.
Yeah, I thought it was man, I thought it was a good episode. Because I was talk about intense. The whole time I was just like edge of my seat. I'm like, oh, something's gonna go wrong. What's gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I pretty much called it. The kid died. And I was like, and
Yeah.
okay, now Andor ends up with his like journal. I was like, the manifesto. I was like, okay, all
Mm-hmm.
right, interesting. Um, yeah,
I like the kid.
yeah, me too. What's his name?
Yeah.
Nemec.
Nemec. Yeah.
Nemec. The one I didn't see coming was Skeen. I was like,
Mm.
oh wow, okay, that sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still kind of torn about it because it just, I don't know. In a way, it was kind of anticlimactic because we didn't even get any clue about him until everything was already done,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But then when, man, Cassian just smoking the dude, I was like, ooh, that
Yeah.
was crazy. So, but going back and like thinking about it now, a lot of things kind of make sense. Like, what was the other guy's name? The one who dies? Who's kind of like the leader guy?
The one who was at the base or the one who was
Yeah,
leading them in?
leading them in.
Leading them in, Terramin.
Terriman. So like he says like cover me, and Skeen's like ugh. He's like okay, he starts shooting. Well, as soon as Skeen takes fire, he hides, and then that's what gets Terriman killed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And then there's something else like I don't know, just little things he was saying, like when he was talking about the story about his quote unquote brother, and he was saying, I always hated the Empire. How I feel about them now, I don't even know. And I'm still
Mm-hmm.
thinking, like, do you hate them more? Or I'm like, okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So going back, it's just like, oh, okay, there were little clues there. Okay.
Yeah. It puts it, when you look back on everything, it puts his character more into perspective.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if he was always going to betray, the team. Uh but it in a way, it's kind of like we were saying how like okay, Cyril is this opposite character to Andor, right?
Hmm.
Kind of, just two completely different worlds, and they're just total foils of each other. Skeen feels like this is Cassian if he keeps going the route that he is on. you
Mm.
know like
Hmm.
he's Cassian if he never joins up with the rebels.
Hmm.
He's just gonna be that like merc for hire, still looking out for yourself, still causing trouble within a team, but getting the job done, and then pulling the wool over everybody's eye to,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think he totally was. He was going to steal it the whole time.
yeah.
I think that's also where his problems with Cassian comes in with Clem, because
Hmm.
Clem poses this new threat. Also, he knows like who he is. He's like, okay, he was a prisoner, he was a soldier. He's like, okay, this is a new level of danger now.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and it just kind of it's really interesting because he's also the one who's saying he's like there's so many things out of control now with him here, what am I risking my life for? He does that whole spiel, and it's like I think yeah, because like one, he was already nervous. That's what Cassian says. He's like, don't use me as an excuse if you want out.
Yeah.
I know that you're all scared. So yeah, like there was no way he was gonna put up with all of that and not steal the money and steal the gold from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, um man, that sucks. So man, what a heist. That was cool.
Hmm.
That was cool.
Hmm.
Um
I didn't see that. So when Skeen got bumped off,
mhm.
I missed all the clues. It was total surprise. I was like, what the heck just happened? How
Hmm.
Same
did
here.
How did he know? Why did he shoot him? You know,
Mm-hmm.
all that's going on in my head, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't get it. I missed it.
Well, even then, that whole speech, I was thinking, like, is Skeen testing Andor? I was like, is he testing him?
Yeah, right.
And then it
Mm,
kind of
mhm.
goes on a little too long, and you could tell, you could see it in Cassian's face, you know, and that's credit to Diego Luna. Like, he believes it. That's the point where it's like, I wasn't really sure if Skeen was testing Andor or not, but Andor believes it, and then I believed it. I was like, okay, okay,
Mhm.
Cassian sees it now. I'm like, wow. Then it boom, just dang.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay. And how about that doctor though? The doctor
Oh,
working on Nemec. It just
yeah.
cuts.
Oh, yes, yes.
Because we see the guy and I'm like, Dad, I need you to come in for a cameo. Can you play this role?
I'm doing it. Count me in.
And then they have the wide shot and you see he has like four arms and we're both like, oh, that's so cool.
That's
It,
me.
it's such like a nice like it's not a light moment, but it kind of feels like it because it's surprising. Like, okay, that's a very Star Wars thing, especially after going through these really dark scenes, and then you just get this little surprise like that. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, yeah.
You can cast me in every one of those kind of characters.
Dad, I need you to play a weird guy. A real nutso.
You got it. You
All
got it.
right. All right.
You want to put a mask on me? Bunch of glue on my face? Let's do it.
Where was where's Cyril in this episode? Did we see him?
No, no,
We didn't. Okay, right.
no.
I was trying to remember. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah. So my prediction is I think this is where we're gonna get the time jump.
Mm,
Because like I've been saying, like we know this show is supposed to lead up to Rogue One, which is 5 years from now. So I'm guessing this is where we're gonna get a time jump, at least a little one.
mm.
Let things reset a little bit. And yeah, yeah. Because I think it also time has to pass before Andor goes back to what's the planet? Ferrix?
Barracks.
Ferrix. Time needs to pass because he's a wanted man, you know, and like they're setting up base over there, so I know he's gonna return at some point.
Yeah.
Plus, his family and his friends are there, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is where the time jump's gonna be.
Okay.
So I got a question.
Okay.
Okay, the guy that got fired and he went to go visit his mom.
Cyril.
Hmm.
Cyril. Okay. What what's he gonna do next? I mean, he's fixated on on Andor.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Hmm.
he's blaming him. He's blaming him for his own mistake, but you know, for everything that he lost. So what's he gonna do next? Is he gonna hunt him down on his own?
Right? I don't know. Like I think we need to find out where he's at when we get back. They keep mentioning his uncle, and like it sounds like his uncle's trying to decide like what kind of job for him, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so I think at I have no idea, but that is somehow going to lead into something. It's either going to be a really terrible job and he somehow gets info or something on the rebellion, you know, or it
Hmm.
just pisses him off even more and like he starts to go rogue. I don't know if he has it in him though to go rogue. Like
Mm. Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I'm thinking it might be circumstantial. You know, like he's gonna be somewhere where he has an opportunity to like suck up or kiss up to the Empire somehow. You know,
Hmm.
something like that. I don't know. Or maybe he finds an opportunity to join the rebellion and he goes in as a spy. Like, I don't know. It'd be very interesting to see though.
Hmm.
I love that guy. He's such a good actor. You love to hate him. I'm like,
I hate
wow.
him. I
Yeah.
hated him when he hadn't even said a word yet, and I
Hmm.
hated him.
He's got a
It's like,
punchable face,
oh yeah.
very
Yes.
Empire face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. He might even cross over with Deidre in the Empire because she's the one piecing things together about the rebellion that no one really thinks exists yet.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe that's how it crosses over. Like I don't know.
hmm
Hmm.
And I did like that we got to see like her sort of initial reaction as like all of those like Empire, officials are being called into the room. They're being
Hmm.
told nobody's leaving. Tell your staff and tell your families. It's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, okay.
Hmm.
Now things are getting serious for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, good episode. Sad episode. I loved it. I love the people. What are they called? The people who are celebrating the ritual.
The Aldanis.
The Aldanis. That was
hmm
so cool. You got that cool looking old guy leading them. And
hmm
it I like that they exchanged like what is it, like a pelt or something?
Yeah.
And then even when he tells the lieutenant, he's like, may this what may this open up your heart to good or something like that. A
hmm
very uh it was a dig. It was a dig at the guy for sure, but like a kind of diplomatic way of doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man. So, but then I like that the whole time they're talking about, or the Empire guys are talking about how bad the pelt smells and all this stuff, right? Well, then what happens when they give it to the old guy? He starts talking and he's very passionate and angry, and they burn it. And I was like, oh. Yeah, this isn't really like some kind of like sacred ritual thing. Like it probably is, but like the pelt stuff is kind of like a dig at the Empire. Like we're gonna give you this thing that smells like shit, and you got to
hmm
hold it for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, so when they threw it on the fire, I was like, that's cool. That's cool.
hmm
Okay.
I did like because so one of the things that I wish they had gone into more, and I don't know, maybe if this was more of an ensemble show, they could have gone into more. But I really liked the lieutenant, and I wanted to know more about the lieutenant.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
so as far as we know now, that like he fell in love with one of the Aldanis, one of the
Hmm.
natives. Uh, don't know what exactly happened, but it cost him a promotion and then her. So
Hmm.
maybe she died, maybe there was an incident, who knows.
Hmm.
I
Maybe they
like
killed her.
hey, it's the Empire,
Yeah.
maybe. Um or maybe not because I feel like if they were directly responsible, that guy would have Lieutenant Gorn would have no reason to stay, you know. So my thinking is like maybe it
Hmm.
was sort of quote unquote indirect on their part, like
Yeah.
they had medical supplies or something and they didn't give it to her or something like that,
Hmm.
and all this is speculation, right? It there was something of a respect when Gorn greets like the leader,
Hmm.
you know and that's where that leader says like maybe this will open up, to fill you with goodness or something.
Hmm.
uh but what I like is how, okay, so obviously the bigger Empire officials, they're not going to bother to learn the language, that's beneath them, so they rely on Gorn to translate. What I really liked was when the leader told the commandant or whatever, uh essentially, our ghosts have strong hands and long memories.
Hmm.
And Gorn takes that and says the exact same thing that he was told by the leader.
Hmm.
And there's a split second where the leader like fully looks at him because he doesn't say it in their language. He says it in English,
Hmm.
the Star Wars English. And the leader just like looks at Gorn. Like he knows what he just said, and that's not was what he meant.
Hmm.
And I don't know, like th- that was a small moment, but it really kind of just speaks volumes to like the Eldani are not, they're so much more complicated. And like, like
Hmm.
you're watching this and like you should already get that, but we only get to see them from the Empire's perspective. And the
Hmm.
Empire is always looking down at people that aren't with them.
Hmm.
So to have this little these little moments with the leader, like showing that yes, they're spiritual people, but they're also smart people. They're also in angry people,
Hmm.
because they know and they remember that, this, they said the whole valley used to be filled with them and now it's
Hmm.
barely 60. Like that's,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I also like, I think, like the way I took it, like I don't know if the commander actually understood what they said, but he knows that the lieutenant like said something different, you know?
Hmm.
So like he gets it. Like he knows the situation, you know?
Yeah.
He understands that they're getting shafted and that they know they're getting shafted, you know? Like so that's how I took it anyway. But like it's still like he's reading the context clues, you know? And man, it's kind of like what we talked about the last time. Pretty evil, man, when they're just talking about how they accomplished everything and how did they get people out of the valley. Oh well, they provided, I forgot what they called it, like in nourishment,
Comfort units.
comfort units, and where they
Hmm.
offered like jobs and comfort, you know, the necessities. Well, in this one the commander's talking about how they put up houses of rest along the pilgrimage.
Hmm.
And ever since then, the numbers have dwindled significantly. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, because they get comfortable and they stop traveling, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah. They even
man.
say that like they have like view screens where they can
Yeah.
still watch it,
Yeah.
and even the next time it happens, they won't be allowed to make the pilgrimage. Like they'll
Hmm.
just have, the
They're
screens
paving
everywhere else.
paradise to put up a parking lot.
Exactly.
Hmm. Who
Exactly.
sings that
Who?
song?
Yeah, I was about to
Joni
say who?
Mitchell.
Joni
Joni Mitchell. I
Mitchell.
knew it. I was like, thank you, Joni Mitchell.
Famous anti-empire-ist Joni Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're
Yeah.
not wrong.
So the guy who was on comms, who ends
Mm-hmm.
up like figuring it out. That
Mm-hmm.
guy, I'm pretty sure that was the guy from Agents of Shield, um, the British guy, the one who runs off of Bobby at the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what was his name? They were supposed to get a spinoff that never happened. Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his name was Hunter. Hunter and Bobby. Yeah, man, this was awesome. It was great. I love the way the actual event looked.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, wow. So, and I didn't actually think they were going to like fly through it. I didn't know that was a vehicle that can go into space. But I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Loved it. Dad and I talked about it. We mentioned it in the last couple episodes. The TIE fighters in this show sound so freaking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh
I
yeah.
watching Star Wars, I never thought about it. Like, okay, that's just the noise they make. Never thought about it. They're the
Mm.
bad guys, so they make a funky noise.
Yeah.
But this show, I'm like, oh, they make that noise to intimidate.
Yeah.
That's why they make that noise. And it's the first time I've been intimidated by the TIE fighters. I'm like, oh man, that is scary.
Yeah. I think too, like there's like a clear difference from when you're hearing that sound in space during like a space battle. You're like, oh yeah, all the ships have some kind of a sound, and then hearing it on a planet as it's chasing you or just, leering over you or like heading for you. It's like, yeah, like yeah.
That's a good point, but can you hear the TIE fighters in space?
Matt, we can hear the TIE fighters in space. Like
Oh.
that's
Well,
yeah.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't, if you're doing it for the audience, then you should double down. So that's why I wanted to make the point of saying that like they made him sound a certain way. I don't know if they purposely made him terrifying because they've never sounded terrifying to me. You know, it just sounds like something like almost alien, maybe menacing, I guess. But it's just like if they wanted it to sound scary, Star Wars has never done that until Andor. And I was like,
Mm.
oh, because now it makes sense in context of the world. I'm not talking from audience perspective. Yeah, sure, I'm scared, but it makes sense in the story as well. Like, of course they would make that noise because that's how they terrify people.
Yeah.
Especially the one where he goes through the valley and it leaves like the little sonic booms. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
I loved it. It was
Yeah.
scary, but I loved it. I liked the way they used the sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could hear it coming from a distance. And then, like,
Hmm.
when it flew over the camp, it's at its loudest. I was like, oh, I wish I had better speakers.
And it's that thing too where it's like you hear it and then it passes you by and then it's like the sound is almost like racing to catch up with it,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that guy, Corporal Kimsey, played by Nick Blood.
Well, there's a name.
What a name.
Heck of a name, yeah.
Hmm.
Is it the
Also,
same guy?
Yeah, played Lance Hunter in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Nice. And
uh,
and to think they probably wouldn't have gotten away with it if the lieutenant wasn't a stickler for, the rules and making sure everybody was, at their post when they needed to be, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, because in the episode before, he told that communications officer, it's like make sure you stay at your post. Like yeah, it's gonna be like a big celestial event, but you
Oh,
know, stay on your post. Because obviously
yeah.
like he's just trying to like make sure that everything's, going okay, and not
Hmm.
have this guy wander off, not have this guy wander off.
Hmm.
But then because he's there, it's like, well, of course he's the comms officer. Of course he's gonna
Yeah,
be
but
be able to intercept,
if he
and
wasn't
find
at
the
his
other
post, he would
signal.
have seen the girls.
Well, maybe.
I mean, we straight up saw that shot of them running down the thing while he's sitting at the comms. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That was I'm very interested in this lieutenant, man. Like, I don't know. I hope we see him again. He doesn't die, right? We don't see what happens to him.
Yeah, he's dead. He's
He
dead.
did? He get shot?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like one of the first ones to get taken out.
damn. It must have been too frantic for me. I didn't even notice because afterwards I was like, what happened to that guy?
yeah, I
Nope.
thought he was the first one that came in. He's not the one who was asking the general or whoever what's going on here.
No, no, we're talking about the lieutenant, the one who's like the inside man.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that's how he comes in, as everybody's loading. He's like, "What are y'all still doing here? Y'all are
oh
late.
yeah.
Like y'all need,
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
that's when like the commander realizes, oh, and he has that line. He's like, "You'll hang for this," and he says, "I've served under you for 7 years. I deserve far worse." Ooh,
Dang.
damn! So I didn't realize he died. Oh well. I
Yeah.
was gonna say because even if we don't see him again, it's kind of cool because it's just like that's what the rebellion is made of. Just everyday people just doing their part. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man. That's what I felt about the friend in the third episode. Like, I don't know if we're gonna see this guy again, but he chains the
Oh
ship
yeah.
up in the yard, and it
Yeah.
crashes. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And then, especially too, like, yeah, we want to see more of the kid. We want to see him grow, into,
yeah,
being this leader he doesn't get to. You
yeah,
know, Tehrman, we barely found out this episode he was a stormtrooper.
yeah. I
Like
guess that kind of
that's
makes sense why he's so upset and against Andor, like, because it's like he was a stormtrooper, so he should know this stuff.
hmm
But then at the same time, when Cassian says he's left-handed, he should switch sides. It's like, yeah, because it's Empire and stormtroopers can't hit a thing. So it makes sense. Like it makes sense, that a stormtrooper wouldn't think of that,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, there's so many little things in this writing that something like that, that's a very meta thing. Stormtroopers can't hit a damn thing. And like they kind of Tony Gilroy seeds this thing that should be like strategic, tactical, military knowledge, and the stormtrooper doesn't realize it. You know,
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. It's kind of a way to one of the ways to explain why they can't hit anything.
Hmm.
You know, so it's like you're telling the story, you're furthers the story and the characters while also being a little meta at the same time. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's awesome. I love it. It kind of reminds me of Star Trek Lower Decks, the way they can use like these really absurd, humorous moments, but they actually give context to like legit Star Trek lore and canon.
Hmm.
I was like, dude, that's kind of what like this feels like, you know?
Yeah.
Do I need to start watching Lower Decks now?
Maybe I think you will like it.
Yeah, I think you'd like it,
We
Dad.
saw a couple episodes when it came out, and Dad was like, all right, but I think it gets so much better. It just gets really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so predictions. I don't know if I actually ever said it as a prediction, but prediction foiled. I don't think Luthien is a ex Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Because I was thinking, because he was walking around with that cool staff that clearly looks like a lightsaber hilt, you know. But then in this one, like he's a little too nervous, you know, under pressure. I'm like, oh, I don't think he's a Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh well.
I mean, not everyone is a Jedi, you know.
I know. Yeah, I know.
And the whole conceit of Andor is that, this isn't the story of the Skywalkers. This isn't,
Right.
there aren't heroes. There are people. There are
Mm,
people who are involved in this who may do some heroic things, may do some not heroic things,
hmm.
you know, but it's the entire basis is that it's people that build this rebellion,
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
have to fight in these battles. Um uh yeah, it's but it's just part of the Star Wars iconography that like we see something that's like, hey, that does kind of look Jedi inspired. Even Luthen's kind of like cloak as he's on Ferrix, like kind of
Mm,
feels like a Jedi.
mm,
Mon Mothma's husband, Perrin, we talked about that a couple episodes back, how his style looks like a very gaudy, flamboyant, Jedi robes.
hmm.
Um, yeah, and even kind of going further, into like the sequels, Ray's huge quarterstaff, like that kind of, I know a lot of people were like contemplating, it's like, can that like can
Mm,
that break apart? Then she has like two lightsabers in there or something like that. Like
hmm.
she's secretly a Jedi. It's like, no, no, she's not,
Hmm.
but it would be cool, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like I'm on your side as well. It's like, yeah, like it would be really cool if
Yeah.
somebody here was a secret Jedi or a
Yeah.
secret Sith, but that kind of betrays the thesis of the show.
Yeah, that's why Vader showing up at the end of Rogue One was so impactful
Yeah,
and terrifying.
yeah.
You know, I was like, oh
Yeah,
crap.
because we've gotten this whole movie where it's like, yeah, we're just people, fighting, fighting
Hmm.
against stormtroopers. It's a war movie, and then at the very end of the war movie, you have an evil wizard show up who just starts killing everybody. You're like, whoa, oh
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, how long has it been since the fall of the Jedi?
Ooh, that's a very good question, man.
Decades, right? Like,
It's decades. It's not super long because I mean, how old are Luke and Leia in
oh, that's true.
in New Hope?
How old are they? Like, what do you think?
I feel like they're maybe like 20, 19, 20.
I think they're
Yeah.
teenagers. Because that's the whole thing. Like, oh, well, maybe a little older because Luke is talking about.
Luke is talking about going off, to the academy, learn to be a pilot.
Yeah, and I guess as a kid, I just always thought like, oh, when he turns 18, he's gonna go to college. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I
Yeah.
took it.
Yeah, very
Um,
much could be, like
yeah.
18. 18 back in the 70s
Wow.
was a looked a lot different than 18 years now,
So that really isn't that
Thank you very
long.
mubecause
Because like I don't think Luke is 20 in the first one. But
Okay.
if he is, then that means the Jedi fell just 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, because that's what people were saying too. Like Obi-Wan ages fast after Revenge of the Sith.
When you're accustomed to living a certain lifestyle and then throw yourself into a forced exile on a desert planet,
Uh-huh. You turn into Alec Guinness.
you turn into Alec Guinness. Exactly. Exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, you know?
I don't know. I don't know where this is. I don't know where this is going. Well, I know where this is going. It's going to Rogue One, but I don't know where else we're going to stop to get there.
Yeah,
I.
exactly.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they pull in Cassian into the rebellion, because I kind of thought that's what this whole trilogy of episodes was. Like, oh, this is his first mission with them. This is going to lead to more. And it's like technically that it was a success, but he's not with them at the end, and almost everybody died. So.
Yeah.
I'm also curious who Mon Mothma said she was bringing in. Because last episode she was talking about bringing someone into the circle, and Luthien was like, "Oh no 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 no," blah 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 blah. So I'm like,
Mm.
"Oh, interesting." So like she's the benefactor, but I don't know if she's answering to someone or if she's trying to work with someone else or what.
Mm. Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I love that like at the end of the episode where they kind of just talk about it. Oh yeah, did you hear blah 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 happen? And it's like, oh really? I have to look into that. And then
Hmm.
in the back, Luthien starts laughing. I'm like, shh, shh. There's no door. There's no door. Keep it down. But it
It's
was a
like,
nice little moment. You're like, wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like he said at the end of last episode, it's either going to be over or they're just getting started.
Yeah.
And it's technically both. The mission is over.
Yeah.
Now the war begins.
Okay, Dad, I'm curious on your predictions. Where do you think this show's gonna go? Because what, there's only 6 episodes left of the season, right?
Yes, we're officially at the midpoint.
Okay, what's the second half of this season look like?
Oh man. Now I don't know anything about time jumps or anything like this,
Hmm.
okay?
All right.
Okay, so I think I think Andor's going to be out of guilt, I think. He's going to read the manifesto
Mm,
and
Mm,
he's going to find something in that manifesto that's going to draw him into the rebellion.
hmm.
okay.
He needs something.
Yeah.
He's missing something. So we know that he's looking for his sister and all this kind of stuff. There's a need there. I think he's going to find it in the manifesto, and it's the rebellion.
Mm,
Mm,
So character wise, I think that's what's going to happen next. We're gonna see him. Um, I don't think we're going to see him like go up the ranks in the rebellion.
hmm.
I think when we see him next, he's going to be like midway or on his way, to being key to the rebellion.
Oh, I was gonna say opposite. I don't think he's gonna be in it at all when we come
What?
back.
Really?
Yeah, because that was his whole thing. Like he's just cutting his losses and leaving. I think he's gonna be solo, not Han Solo, but he's gonna be individual on his own on the run. And
No,
I
I don't.
my guess is he probably won't be in the rebellion, but he's gonna like start running into them. So I feel like when we get back, there's probably going to be more established rebellion or pockets because like we really don't know. Is it just like Luthien and this one crew, or they've alluded that people have or Empire parts have been disappearing? So
mhm.
like, is it just this one group or is it more groups kind of scattered? I
Right,
think we're
right.
gonna start getting more of a bigger picture of what the rebellion is. I don't know if it's like one network or if it's like different groups. Because I remember in Rogue One, Forrest Whitaker plays Saw Gerrera, another
Yeah.
Mexican, and I'm
Hey.
pretty sure he's in the show at some point. I don't know, but like I can't imagine them telling this story without bringing in Saul at some point.
Yeah.
So, and he was like, if I remember correctly, they were like a rogue rebel group, right? They're kind of like extremists, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
So you
like
had the
like
rebels, and then you had like the rebel terrorists almost.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like his group was like very radical.
Yeah,
Um yeah, and he was a character that showed up in Clone Wars and Rebels, the show.
yeah.
And yeah, like that was kind of his story. Like he is like this young idealistic kind of soldier, you know, fighting I guess maybe Clone Wars. I guess it
Hmm.
would have to be
Hmm.
Clone Wars. And loses his people, and it radicalizes him to a point where he's like the ends justify the means. Like anything that we
Hmm.
do in order to take down the empire is justified.
Hmm.
And yeah, a lot of the other leaders just don't agree with that.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's kind of how he's set up to be in Rogue One, where it's like, yeah, he's too radical for the rebellion, but
yeah,
he's still fighting the fight, you
yeah.
know? Um,
I feel like
yeah, he comes in at some point,
we're
yeah.
probably gonna find more people like that. But I don't. So now that we're halfway through the season, I'm thinking the season's gonna end with Cassian like full on bought in with the rebellion, or maybe even like it happens earlier, but like it ends with him stepping up into like a leadership role, something
Mhm.
like that. Um, I'm really scared for Ferrex. I think they're gonna kill everyone. I
Mm,
think, and like I think he's gonna get back and like his mom's dead, the friend's dead, everyone, like
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Cause so outside of like I thought it was a mine or whatever, but like where the friend works at the yards where they all
Hmm.
hang the gloves up on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Uh, that reminds me of a lot of like safety things that people or some uh industries use. So like if you're in a working in a place where something can happen, you take a little dog tag, or no, I think you leave a dog tag, or you leave something like, so in
Oh
case there's a
yeah.
fire, when the rescue people come, they know exactly who's in there or how many, because there's X amount of dog tags up there.
There's a
So
physical record, yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of what I thought of instantly when I saw that. I was like, oh man, that's crazy. So I
Hmm.
don't know. I have a feeling that like Cassian's gonna get back and the wall's gonna be like empty, or there's going to be a lot of holes of like the people empire have been disappearing,
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, I don't know. And his mom, like I want his like adopted mom, she just seems too badass, like she's going to go out in style or something, and I think that might radicalize him to the point where he's like, yeah, let's enlist, we're going to take
Hmm.
these guys down, you don't mess with the mom.
Okay, so how long do we have to wait to find out which prediction is coming true?
Well, just have to keep watching.
Yeah,
Uh,
you gotta keep
All
watching.
right.
There's some stuff that may be answered next episode, may not be answered next episode. They may never be answered
Mm,
at all. That's the
yeah.
whole that's the whole name of the game. But whatever predictions you made, hopefully we'll figure out something.
Mhm.
Hopefully they get answered. Next time, when we talk about Andor, Season 1, Episode 7, Announcement, in which the repercussions of the Aldani heist reach across the galaxy.
Oh man.
oh
So
man.
so last thing I'll say is I'm excited and also like scared, because as it's only 2 seasons, the show.
Yeah.
We know it ends at Rogue One. So I'm I'm kind of nervous that because we know where it ends, that they can just kill everyone, you know?
Mm.
But at the same time, I also it's the Star Wars universe and everything's like connected. I'm also excited to see if any of these characters make it out, and like if any of these characters show up later on in Star Wars.
That was kind of that's kind of what I was thinking too, you know? It's like there's so many characters that show up here that, you know, aren't mentioned in any not in any of the movies,
Hmm.
and like in nothing so far. So it's like I kind of wonder, whoever ends up making it out of this alive, like I wonder if we'll see them again.
Yeah, yeah,
I would love to have some characters show up like in Mando, or something. Um, yeah, I don't know. I have a whole pitch. I have a whole pitch of a show that I'd love to do set after Return of the Jedi, but I can't tell you guys it until
damn,
we finish the series.
damn. Um,
So putting
Cassian
a pin in it.
Andor Jr. Well, yeah. So we're watching this, and then I just watched like the Bill Burr clips from Mando, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yes. I was like, dude, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is what Mandalorian was, and then at some point, it just kind of almost got too experimental. You know,
Mm, mm.
like I wish they kind of found a more solid tone to stick with.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be as dark as this, but it should still have like these take itself seriously. I don't know if that's how I want to describe it, but like I don't know.
I get what you're saying. Like it
Rein it
felt,
in, you know.
yeah, it felt like it went too a little too zany
Hmm.
and a little too out there, you
Hmm.
know. Which hey, this is an entire universe, based off of space wizard battles. They
Yeah.
have magic swords. It's Star Wars. It's silly.
Hmm.
Most of the time, George Lucas just wanted to market it to kids.
Hmm.
And like that's fine. Uh, and Mando kind of feels sort of like in a way it's like, hey, this is still in line with like a family friendly version of the Star Wars mythos.
Hmm.
It could get a little gritty, but it's like it's meant to be watched by families. Like, hey, the new Mando episode's on. Your grandma can know who little baby Grogu is. And
Hmm.
that's I think is the beauty of Mandalorian.
Hmm.
But yeah, I do wish that there was a more consistent tone where, we could continue to tell, if not like overtly serious stories, just tell stories that, have an impact. That
Yeah.
that the ending of the second season, it's all about this adopted father essentially telling his son goodbye.
Hmm.
They are, these two, they're the clan of two, and
Hmm.
he has to give up his son so that he can go off to learn to be a Jedi. And I'm like, it's beautiful. You see Pedro Pascal's face, he's crying, you're
Hmm.
crying, and you're like, yeah, this is great. And then season 3 is a little too,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And we're getting
Man,
a movie at some point, so who
next
knows?
year, actually.
See, I'm gonna have to catch up on Mandalorian now
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because if we're
well,
gonna get a movie.
I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to make popcorn then.
There
We're
you
Hmm.
gonna
go.
be we're gonna be binging stuff.
There you
Hmm.
go. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. Oh, but then we all get to go see a Star Wars movie
Oh,
again as a family.
there we go.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Mom,
I don't
Cat,
think
you're
we
coming with
saw.
us.
What was the last one we saw together? Was it Force Awakens?
You and I saw Rise of Skywalker together.
Yeah.
We didn't see The Last Jedi together. I don't think.
Yeah, but I think all of us saw
I think we all saw
Force
Force
Awakens
Awakens.
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know Dad and we watched it at home. So Dad
Hmm.
waited a while.
Which
Uh
one was that
Force
one?
Awakens?
Yeah.
no, Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The very last one where
No,
Dad doesn't
no,
Well,
remember.
you're
only saw
finally
it
into that
Somehow
bit
once.
that I
somehow
forgot.
Emperor Palpatine came back.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it
yes.
turns out he's the father of Rey,
Grandfather.
grandfather of Rey.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of messy.
Yeah. Yeah. To say the
That
least.
yeah.
All right, I remember. I didn't lose it all.
That's what happens when you don't have a singular focused head telling the story, you know?
Mm, mm.
It's just it's yeah. It's
And
focus group to death.
yes, focus groups of death. And when you cave to the very small but vocal minority of people who have hated every single entry of Star Wars post uh, Empire. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's a whole other can of worms, to
Hmm.
get into, but it's just like there's a subset of people who have made it their personality to hate every single new thing that Star Wars does
Yeah.
because it's too woke or because it's
Yeah.
not like how it was when I was a kid, all this stuff. I want it to be exactly this thing. It's like, guys, you're what's holding the franchise back.
That's
Star Wars has always been its best when it is taking in its inspirations and molding it into something new. And Star Wars is even better when it pushes forward and it pushes
hmm
into the future, and does the something new just like when you first saw it and it was
Yeah.
new to you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the downside of a nostalgia culture,
Yeah.
which we're in right now. Everyone's nostalgic for something.
Yeah.
And it's never the reason we love those things and they stand out is because they were new and they changed everything. And all these
Hmm.
people, they just want the same thing. They just want more of the same, you know? They love the can of Coke, so they want another can of Coke. And that's
Yeah.
it. Like that's but the thing is, ever since Star Wars, we've had so many different franchises and movies and stories just copy Star Wars. So if you
Yeah.
want the same thing, go watch that stuff.
Hmm.
You know, that's how you get Diet Coke, you know? And yeah, yeah. They're afraid of change and like you said, something new. And it's just like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry, not sorry. So
Yeah. We'll see what happens next week. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Dad, thanks for being here. This is super
Oh,
great. I said it's a milestone because Dad's never talked about an episode of a thing that we've watched together. It's always
I
been like
know.
topics or stuff. So
True.
like this is great. Dad, are you planning on coming back for more episodes of Andor?
yes.
We will be bringing Dad back
Yes.
for more
Yes.
episodes of Andor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
love it.
I have a fresh bag of popcorn that I can make while I'm watching the show.
Mm-hmm.
Heck
So
yeah.
I'm ready.
There we go.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for coming out. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Please tune in next week as well. Let us know your thoughts. How did you like this episode? If you're watching it for the first time, what are your predictions for the rest of the episode? Please, no spoilers and any comments. We're on every social media platform except Twitter, so just do a hashtag Lost Legacies, and Matt and I will find it. We're trying to get better at checking all of the different stuff, to find things. Yeah, as always, you can find me on Instagram or Instagram Threads and BluSky at Real. It's REEL Texas Weirdo.
And I'm on Instagram and Threads at Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch, and on BluSky at Matthew Jimenez.
And if you want to, I don't know why, but if you want to talk to me, Daddy-O, just leave word with Matt or Sam, and they know where to find me.
Yep.
It's true. We know where you live.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks again, and until next time,
Get lost.
get lost.